You're joining the Loudr Lawyer Network, the podcast where we sit down with the law firm owners, attorneys, and visionaries that are making the most noise in the legal landscape nationwide to find out the secrets to their success. Other podcasts think they're getting loud, but we're getting louder. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Loudr Lawyer Network, where we help attorneys scale to million-dollar months through powerful connections and strategies. And my guest none of the day is Courtney Clark, the firm director of Zahner Law. How you doing, Courtney?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sitting here in sunny San Diego.
I love that. It looks
enjoying
beautiful.
The breeze.
There with you.
Where you're in Denver, right?
We are in Denver, and it's hot as can be, and not a cloud in the sky today.
Not a cloud in the sky. You guys competing with Cali in every direction right there.
I know.
Basketball teams in the playoffs. You got to come see my Lakers.
Yep.
I mean, it's gonna be a journey.
Love it.
So Courtney, I see that you're the firm director of a prestigious law firm in Denver, Zahner Law. Take me back to the moment that before you got into being a firm director. How did you know you wanted? What led you into going into law? Tell me about your moment before.
It was a chance. It was a happen chance, really. I was 20 years old, and I had gone through a really bad breakup working for my ex-fiance's family's business, which was with police officers. And my first firm found me on monster.com. I don't even know if that still exists for jobs. And my resume was on there. And sorry, I need to quiet this. I apologize. The law firm I started working for found me, and they're like, hey, you seem to have customer service experience. Come in and be a receptionist for us. And I took that job 20 years ago and had no idea what attorneys did, no idea what PI was. And I jumped in head first and really never looked back, and took an interest in people's lives, their stories, what they had gone through, and worked my way up at that firm.
Tell me about do you remember that moment when you got into, because you're kind of like you're strategic, as I was telling you earlier. You have a way of pulling staff and clients and everyone together. Can you tell me about that moment when you knew this is what I'm going to do? This is the career I'm jumping in, because you've been awarded too. You have award accolades under your belt and stuff. So tell me about that.
You know, I was about 4 years into the legal business and worked my way up to be a paralegal. And I noticed that there was this gap between staff and attorneys, and the view of staff seemed lesser at the time than, if you had a law degree. So my whole goal was to bridge that gap and make it more of a team environment, and do that whichever way I could. And so part of that was getting involved in my local CTLA, which is the Lawyers Association, and saying, hey, there is no legal staff. Let's bridge this gap. Let's provide resources for people like me, and come along our attorneys and show that we're really a team. So I knew I was never going to go to law school. I didn't have a desire to go to law school. I didn't feel like I needed Esquire behind my name, but I knew what I did for our clients and for the attorneys I was working for mattered, and I wanted to spread awareness. And here we are 20 years later. I've developed the legal staff award for CTLA. I'm really involved in a lot of different associations building the non-Esquire portion of it, because I just wanted to bridge that gap, because it's what's best for our clients, and it's really what's best for the attorneys.
Yeah, so you're like the glue that holds everything together.
Yeah,
toss it up in the air and it comes down and it lands right there in your hands, and you know what direction to put everything. That's kind of how I'm following what I've read about you. Tell me about how did it feel getting that award in 2023?
It felt amazing. I didn't feel like I deserved it. because there's so many other legal staff, paralegals, administrators that did so much more work than me. I didn't feel worthy of it, but that was a moment where I was like, wow, I truly have made a difference. And it wasn't for me, it was for my colleagues, right? I didn't need to be recognized for it, but the factor that they honored me with it, I was just like, okay, this has come full circle, and this is why, I did what I pushed for it.
Yeah, so you're a pioneer in that. I mean, do you go around talking in other regions and other states with that right there? Have you built kind of a coalition now?
I have, and part of it is with Case Lab, which is an organization that we're really trying to get legal staff recognized on podcast, on stage, speaking, because what we do matters. I spend a lot of time one-on-one mentoring other legal administrators on, this is how you can get involved. Like, you want to write in an article or in a magazine, write the article and submit it. What's the worst that they're going to say is no? And really putting themselves out there and empowering them to be more than just someone who's sitting at the desk, because we could really change each other's lives.
That's a beautiful thing. You mentioned that you're your paralegal background. Tell me, what does it take? Walk me through what it takes to be a paralegal, and what do attorneys look for in a paralegal that they bring aboard?
Yeah, so I didn't have any formal training. And so I would say go and get formal training, because it makes it easier. You're, not sitting on the weekends reading the rule book with your attorney that you're working with. But I would say organization and heart. I mean, really, organization is what kept me organized with deadlines and learning and keeping the case files organized. But heart, I really wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make a difference for the attorney I was working for. I wanted to make his life easier. And I wanted to make a difference for our clients. So I really think heart and organization. You can train anyone. You can train anyone how to, draft a pleading. You can train someone how to write correspondence, but you can't train someone to have heart and care for that client, or the passion.
Passion. You have a lot of compassion. So you taught yourself how to do the pleadings and all these things. No formal training? No formal school?
No formal training, no formal school. And this is back in the day where like ChatGPT didn't exist. Everything was hard files. You didn't have this huge, electronic file you could go and search. No, you're going to the books and red ropes and looking through everything and drafting them from scratch.
Wow, you're a pioneer.
Well, thank you.
You're a pioneer, definitely. So tell me, what does it take? What does it look like on a typical day at Zahner Law? And are you responsible in helping bringing in other legal, like attorneys and things of that nature? How did Zahner Law come into? I know that Kurt was a founder. How did Kurt find you?
Kurt found me because his former law partner was my attorney I worked with at our last firm, and I was their first hire. So I came in, and they probably didn't have two nickels to their name, and I started with them at a very low salary. And my last firm was like, we'll pay you $85,000 to stay. And I was like, nope, I'm going to go take a chance with these two guys and build something. And so, I did paralegal work. I did the office stuff. I was doing everything. And eventually it was just natural for me to migrate just into the firm director. And as the firm director now, I do everything from the marketing to hiring, to training, to helping with finance, keeping everybody in line. There's a lot that I do, but I wouldn't want it any other way, because I'm never bored.
Never bored. So you run the ship from A to Z. You're basically the oil that keeps the gears moving. The gears being the attorneys that are, by the way, I don't know if it was your idea, but the attorneys coming in, walking into the courtroom, looking like an episode out of Suits, going through that's a beautiful visual.
I love that video. My video company did a fantastic job portraying what we wanted it to capture. And that's really what we are. We're champions in the courtroom. We're champions for our clients, whether it's inside or brief writing or demands or negotiations. We're their champion. And they did a phenomenal job making our vision come alive.
Now the vision is beautiful. I mean, it caught my eye. What I saw about you guys also, very detailed in the type of personal injury. And I was sharing this with Will earlier. When I just recently was in an accident, and when I think about personal injury, you said something about stories. Like, a personal is something that's personal to you, right? And it should be taken as that. And when I looked at the story of the gentleman that was hurt, went 3 years, had 19 surgeries. I don't recall his name, but him and his wife were depositioned, and they were asking him unsavory questions and things of that nature. When he called you guys family, he called the law firm family. That really struck a chord of showing the type of compassion and things that you have for your clients. And I saw you guys had listed everything from A to Z in terms of personal injury, like everything, things that I didn't even know existed in the personal injury field. Can you tell me who struck that chord and put that down? I mean, you guys really literally handle everything.
Yeah, I really think it's Kurt and his vision. And, Kurt understands there's so many different personal injuries, right? That you be a victim of, and making sure that people have their champion, right? It doesn't matter if it's catastrophic, if it's minor, if it's a motor vehicle accident, if it's an explosion. He wanted to make sure people were given the opportunity to have representation and have someone to fight for them. And at the end of the day, what you go through in an accident, it's much more than the medical and the injuries. It's really where we try to capture is how this has affected their life. And there, back in my time as a paralegal, you'd have these conversations with moms who couldn't pick up their children because they had this back pain and they, missed rocking their babies, or the dads who couldn't go to the soccer games because they were in the hospital recovering from surgery. Those things you can't get back. I can get better, but you can't get those moments back. And that's where we really try to see our clients and meet them where they're at, to paint that story for them, because that's so powerful when you're talking to either a jury or this adjuster where you're just a piece of paper. Our clients aren't just a piece of paper. They're human, and they've had real loss. And so we really just wanted to give people an option to have someone to fight for them and let them know that we're here. Wow,
that's a beautiful analogy. People aren't paper, they're human. That sticks strong, because like I was saying earlier, like everything is just a number,
Mm-hmm.
And those numbers are human beings that have stories, like you said, that are dealing with problems that affect their life. And being involved in a lawsuit, that takes away, sometimes people can't work for years,
right?
And a lot of people go homeless or live in their cars while they're waiting for things of that nature. How do you approach a situation where there's a family that's in dire need and things of that nature?
Yeah, so we're really going to find what resources, right? We've got families who are in dire need and they need assistance throughout the course of representation. We're going to exhaust our resources. Obviously, we can't give them financial help because that's not ethical, but we're going to, we try to go above and beyond. For instance, we had this client who unfortunately was in a car accident, and one of her breast implants had ruptured, and she was in so much pain, and no doctor would say that it was related to the accident. She didn't have health insurance. But what did we do as a team? There were 4 of us who got on the phone. We were talking to lien companies. We were talking to plastic surgeons, down in Florida, getting her, second, third consultations to get this related. And she finally was able to go and have surgery. we're going to exhaust every option we can for our clients, regardless if they're in dire need or not, like, because they matter, right? This is their life. So, I mean, we really try to go above and beyond for everyone, but we will exhaust everything in our power to make sure that they're taken care of.
And persistency pays off.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you guys are top dog. No pun intended. I saw going through the site of Zahner, seeing the type of person he is, and you said his vision was the Dragon Slayers. Like, I saw there was these. Your site is like I thought I was going into a video game, going through different levels and stuff when I was matching the different, pushing the different options there. But Dragon Slayers and the story around that. Whose vision was that? Tell me how that came about, and how is that separate from? How does that tie in with Zahner?
Yeah, so Kurt has always been a big medieval buff. So, I mean, he loved Game of Thrones. I still haven't watched it. Don't tell anyone that. It's still on my list.
Haven't watched Game of Thrones?
I know. And it's like, I mean,
one of the most epic shows ever to be on television.
We have so many swords and battle things and pictures throughout, and I've never watched it, but he's always loved that imagery, right? Like, the dragons are the insurance companies, the big companies who are trying to, kill the little people. And here we're the knights who are coming into it. So when we rebranded our firm, your champion, it just kept saying, your champion, your champion. That's really what we meditated on, right? Your champion. How can we be their champion? So that's what birthed Zahner Law and kind of that. But then Kurt always had this vision to start a listserv of Dragon Slayers, fellow attorneys. We come together, exchange, war stories, strategy on how can we beat these dragons. So we were able to launch that this year, and it's just been so. I'm obviously not an attorney, but I'm monitoring.
But is that like a community of other attorneys from different law firms coming together under one umbrella, like just to network, or how does that work? It's
really to motivate each other, to lean on each other, and then to celebrate each other's wins. And, I get to see the conversation, and I tell Kurt all the time, I was like, there is no other listserv like this. Like, I get goosebumps reading some of these exchanges between attorneys and brainstorming on how to do or cross this person. And it's just it's these amazing attorneys coming together and supporting each other, which I think a lot of times attorneys don't get to do, because it's, you eat what you kill and they're our competition.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what is our common denominator? We want to help our people. So, like, if we're exchanging with our Dragon Slayers what we did in trial, and it goes and helps them win something at their trial, fantastic. Isn't that what we want? And so that's really how authentic this community is. So I love these emails, and I'm like, okay, we need, we're going to launch an Instagram and a Facebook soon. And Kurt's filmed a lot of fun videos that are very inspiring, but it's been fun to be part of that.
That's a beautiful thing. That's when you think about that, in this world today, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And like you said, people, there's a lot of greed out there and stuff. And you guys don't seem to operate from that place at all. It's like you said, a champion. That's strong. So how do you guys go about, like, marketing, and how do people find out about what you're doing, what you guys are doing over there, what you've helped build?
Yeah, we really try to stay authentic to it, and who we are. So as far as marketing, we don't do billboards. We don't do commercials. It's really organic. We've really spent some time revamping our social media. The dragon slaying is always going to do. Really where we like it is being in front of people. So Kurt's always empowered me to go and build my brand, because he trusts me. He knows I care about this firm. So I'm out at conferences a lot, building our brand and who we are and educating and talking. And he's always been my biggest supporter in that. So we really like to be in front of people. Kurt is speaking a lot at different trial lawyers associations and conferences. And it's really just building relationships.
And I saw you guys had it. Tell me about the moments you had. There's a lot of big media outlets you've been. CBS. Good Morning. Was it Good Morning America? I might be chopping it up. Was it Good Morning America or
Yeah.
Good Morning America? There was another one.
Well, yeah, we've done, I think maybe the Today Show at some point.
Yeah, tell me about those. How did those are national brands right there, and to find you guys, tell me how that came about.
Yeah, that came about on, that was actually one of the last cases I was the paralegal on. We represented a woman who had her legs crushed in a car, and it was this mass recall. And so we made national news because of that, because she was on the news as being this woman who was in the vehicle for 5 days and survived.
In the vehicle for 5 days?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this must have been about 10 years ago. Wow. But she chose us because we're authentic attorneys and authentic staff, and we care. And, you know, naturally it just developed into this kind of few days in New York doing a news run. So we've been really very blessed to work with some great people, and that's allowed us those opportunities, and it's only picked up from there. So Kurt's been on the news a lot for some of our big verdicts over the past few years.
I saw your verdicts. You guys are, you know, I saw, can I say a number?
I think you can say a number. It's on our website.
Okay. Yeah. I saw a $30 million lawsuit, a $16 million, a 10 point something that settled after an 8.4 verdict in your favor. That's being a champion right there.
Yeah, Kurt and his team are amazing. I mean, everybody here is amazing, but Kurt's got this charisma about him. And
yeah, he's real suave with it.
And he's all in, right? Like, he dives into these cases. I've never seen someone train to be in a courtroom like Kurt. It's crazy. And it's just, I'm excited for people to see more of the stuff we've shot for our Dragon Slaying, because you really get behind the scenes on how he trains to go into the courtroom.
Wow. Yeah, that's exciting. Since you've dealt with a lot of attorneys, you've seen things. What's the biggest myth about PI attorneys that you think needs to die immediately? The biggest myth?
That they're ambulance chasers, or that they're a-holes. It's like, I will tell you, I get friends who are in this atmosphere, and they're like, you guys are just ambulance chasers. Like, these guys are just money hungry. No, we're just here to educate people on what their rights are and what they're entitled to. And they're not a-holes. I mean, I've probably met a handful over the 21 years I've been, but everyone's just authentic and they want to help. And so I think dealing with attorneys can be scary because it's like courtroom and Esquire, and like, oh no, they're people. They have families. They go home at night. Like, you know, the persona of, you know, a-hole attorneys, I'm just like, that's just not what I've experienced. And get to know that attorney, because most of them are teddy bears and they just, you know, want to help and go home to their families at night.
How do you being you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a mother to the office and to the staff there, running everything. How do you balance that? That I find that to be most impressive, that you're able to balance everything and then still be that mom and that wife. Take me down that path. What does that look like?
I think I've been able to be so successful in all roles because of my passion. So when I'm at the office, I'm at the office. My team is getting my all. The intakes I talk to are getting my all. I've really tried not to be distracted. And when I'm home, I'm home. And unless I'm on call taking phone calls because it's my week, I'm home with my kids. I'm their biggest supporter, because at the end of the day, I want to show them that you can have it all. Yes, there's going to be sacrifices here and there. When I was doing trial and I missed bedtime, those were sacrifices. But they get to see the stories. They get to hear from clients. They get to see my staff talk about me. It wasn't without purpose. And so I think it's being very, transparent with my kids, what my purpose is, what I want my legacy to be, and the same for my staff, and allowing my staff to have their home life. Look, it's work-life balance here. Like, you work to live, you don't live to work. And that is the expectation for my team, is that you work so you can go live your life, and I'm going to support you. So I think it's really being clear about what my purpose is and having balance. I'm home, and when I'm here, I'm here.
Key word there, balance. Having that balance. I mean, balance is good. And on a typical month for you guys, what's the caseloads like? How many cases are you guys dealing with a week or a month?
Yeah, so we're probably getting 30 to 45 cases a month that we're privileged, blessed enough to sign and help. I take all of our phone calls and all of our intakes because it's the most important part. And I've yet to be able to train someone to do that sufficiently. And I do think it's the most important part in a saturated world of different attorneys. But yeah, about 35 to 40 cases a month. And we have a balanced workload for everybody. I'm checking in with everybody monthly. Where are you at? Can you handle more? Everybody's sweet spot is different. Everybody, not everybody's fitting into this cookie cutter of what we expect a caseload to look like. At the end of the day, we want our cases taken care of. We want our clients heard, and they realize that their story matters. So everybody has kind of different caseloads. It just depends on size of cases. What are they passionate or working on? Do they have personal stuff going on, and making sure that there's balance?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys have an array of cases, so I'm sure you're like very busy. I'm like, I was leading down a list.
Yep.
Oil taker explosions to spinal cord injuries to childbirth rights and things of that nature.
Right. And bed bugs. Sometimes they get bed bug cases, and it's crazy.
Like anything where you get hurt.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk to you.
Wow. That makes one thing. And that's really that's not just your typical motorcycle, truck, car. You know what I mean? When you say you care about humans, that's really, because we get hurt every day in life. Mm-hmm. Every day somebody goes through something, where it's mentally or physically, you never know when that's going to be brushed upon you.
Yep. So, and we're there to, we can't help everyone, but what we've also done a really good job of is having a network of attorneys for referring cases. And so I never get off a phone call with a client or a prospective client without giving them a referral. That's really important to me. I don't want it to be a dead end. If we can't help them, I'm finding them someone. I'm doing research with them on the phone to get them connected to someone who might be able to help.
So there needs to be like 8 of you.
I know. Sometimes I feel like that. Sometimes I do feel like that. Sometimes I do feel like that.
Yeah, well, I know a place that might be able to help you with that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that afterwards. But if you were to talk to someone, if someone walked into your office today, or your younger self, and for what you know today and everywhere your travels have taken you, what would you tell your younger self, or that person looking to step into what you're doing right now?
Don't give into imposter syndrome. For the longest time, I felt like I didn't deserve to be here. I didn't deserve to be on a podcast. I didn't deserve to stand on a stage. I didn't deserve to have a network of people because I don't have Esquire behind my name, because I'm not trying cases. I would tell my younger self, that doesn't matter. you're helping someone, you're paving the way. Don't give into imposter syndrome. If there's this fire in you, go for it. Because at the end of the day, what's going to be so bad? You get a no, or you get a not today, maybe next year. Yeah, don't give into imposter syndrome. It's a bunch of BS.
A bunch of BS with imposter syndrome. You can do it.
You can do it.
Put into it. Let's go. When you hear the term Loudr Lawyer, what does Loudr Lawyer mean to you?
Going against the grain. You're not a cookie cutter. You're paving the way for yourself and for your clients. You're doing something different. You're doing something radical. Maybe you're not playing by the book. You're paving your own path and doing it differently and with a lot of self-worth and being proud of it, and, you know, not being the typical television lawyer.
I like that. Being a champion. You guys are, and correct me if you're in 104 different communities or counties in the state of Colorado.
Yes, sir.
That is, I mean, that number, I was counting this 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I right? Is it 104?
I believe the last time I counted it was 104.
Wow. How do you manage that? How do you you keep all that together?
I keep it all together. I'm the glue. I'm the it girl.
Hey, let people know how they can get a hold of your firm and the wonderful work that you're doing, Courtney.
So you can find us at zahnerlaw.com. You can personally find me at the Courtney Clark 585. We'll have to link it in here for my Instagram. It's where I'm doing a lot of my, I post everything for the firm. So find us on Instagram, Zahner Law. I'm tagged there, or zahnerlaw.com. I'd love to talk to you.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for being a guest. You are inspiration.
Oh.
To women, to everyone. You're an inspiration as a human being.
Well, thank you so much for having me. We got to do this in person next time.
Oh no, we got to do it in person. I got to come see y'all.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Courtney.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a part of the Loudr Lawyer Network. If you're enjoying the conversation, let us know. Give us a like and subscribe to never miss a thing. We'll see you next time right here on the Loudr Lawyer Network.